Oh, howdy all, grab yourselves a beer, it is time for some Path of Exile, and I've done a number of theory crafting videos where I've talked about crafting various things with fossils. What I wanted to do was show off some of the powers of the aberrant fossil, but to do it in practice and crafting on Viridian jewels. Now before we get into the actual practice, let's just have a quick look at the theory side of things. This is PoEDB, it is a data mining website, it has lots of very useful information about what exactly can roll. Aberrant fossils eliminate all lightning modifiers and make all chaos modifiers 10 times as likely to roll as they otherwise would be. Now, because this increases the amount of total rolls in the pool, because, you know, for instance, you're 10 times as likely to roll percentage increase chaos damage, it's not actually quite 10 times in practice, but for low probability rolls, like pretty much every roll on a jewel, it is close to multiplying the probability of hitting it by 10. In any case, the possible rolls that get amplified in probability of coming up on a Viridian jewel are as a prefix, percentage increased chaos damage, as a suffix, percentage chaos resistance, which is okay, but it's not something you really want, percentage increased damage with poison, which is very niche, but is strong for some builds, but is generally not something you desire, and the big one, 3 to 4% to non-ailment chaos damage over time multiplier. And then there's this delve-specific suffix that only rolls on fossils that use an aberrant fossil of 13 to 19% increased chaos damage, which is a lot. What we're really hoping to see is this delve mod, plus the NAC non-ailment chaos damage over time multiplier, plus increased chaos damage, and for the absolute perfect jewel, we would also hit life. The reason I'm using Viridian jewels and not the Cobalt jewels is because Viridian jewels have a chance to roll life on them. Cobalt jewels would be where I'd go if I wanted to roll energy shield ones instead. Anyway, that's the theory. The practice is what we're going to get onto now. And so I've got 5 scoured Viridian jewels, and I'm just going to hit them all with these nicely stacking now after a little bit of a bug today. Things now. Oh, that's actually a usable poison jewel. It's not outstanding, but it's too good to roll over, so I'm going to keep it. 29% increased chaos damage. So you'll see there that I've hit both the chaotic prefix and the underground suffix. That's a very high roll to go with a 6% increased attack speed with one-handed melee weapons. Again, I feel that is too good to roll over. For someone that is inflicting chaos damage with one-handers, this jewel is actually really quite good. It wasn't what I was trying for, but as I say, too good to roll over. Mind damage, accuracy rating, global crit. This item has no identity, no clarity about what the hell it's about. It's a piece of garbage, and therefore, scour. I'm using primitive alchemical resonators rather than chaotic, just because they're so much cheaper at the moment, even though you need to use a scouring orb as well. Okay, that has no redeeming features, that jewel. These are a little bit awkward to socket at the moment. What I might do is actually bulk socket them first. Attack speed, stun duration, and totem resist. No identity, no synergy between the mods. That's a piece of garbage. Let's just go and prepare a whole bunch of these resonators first. Which will be quite funny if I end up getting 3 excellent jewels that I want to keep in a row. Mind damage, chaos damage. You'll notice there that I've got the fire and cold resist suffix, which is actually quite good. Resistances on jewels are good. This is 4 mods, but there's which is a real benefit, but there's just no real synergy. So unfortunately, that one goes away. Totem damage, chaos damage. It's got chaos damage and it's got NAC dot, but unfortunately, totem damage. I don't think. Oh, that's. If someone was focused on wither totems, I'm just trying to think if this is an extraordinary jewel for them or if it's just a solid one. So it'd be 31% damage on their totems, on their wither totems. I don't think that's quite enough. I may be making a mistake, but I'm going to scour it. Projectile speed, NAC dot, and chaos damage. There's no synergy there. Unfortunately, a couple of powerful mods. Mana, burning damage, melee damage, and two-handeds. This is an interesting one in that I'm not going to keep this, but it's got a number of high rolls, but there's just no synergy between them. So mana, melee damage, burning damage, increased damage with two-handed weapons, and melee damage is nice, but they don't go with anything else on it. Damage over time, and nothing else, unfortunately, that fits. Global Fizz, Chaos, and area damage. That is intriguing. Who's going to... I don't think anyone can use that, unfortunately. No. No one can use... Physical and Chaos together is Viper Strike. Does Viper Strike have the AoE tag? That is the question I need to answer at this point. One of the things that comes up when you're crafting is you want to work out whether something is good for a build that you aren't playing. Now, Viper Strike does not have the AoE tag, so for that reason I'm going, and I've just checked that on the Path of Exile wiki, for that reason I'm going to kill that one off. Might be making a mistake, but... Okay, we have Chaos damage, Poison, and Totem Life. Totem just doesn't synergize with anything else there. Chaos damage and everything else, just again, no synergy. Block is pretty much always a dud mod. We've got some Chaos damage, we've got Knack Dot, and we've got increased damage over time. Although the parrying mod is rubbish, I'm inclined to value this as a 3-mod duel, and just think about it. We've got 13% increased Chaos damage, 10% increased Chaos damage, 12% increased damage over time. So that's a double damage mod with Knack Dot as well. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to try and sell it. I'm not going to ask the world for it, but I think it may just be good enough. Speaking of good enough, this isn't. Neither is that. Mind damage, Chaos damage, and Poison. There was a period in the game's history where that would have been an excellent duel. Unfortunately, that period was back before, I think it was the League, but it was Perandus League. That would have been amazing. Now this is an intriguing one. This is definitely a keeper. This is not just a keeper, this is good. This is a 4 synergistic prob duel. You'll notice here that we have increased Chaos damage as a prefix and a suffix. So Chaotic and of the Underground. The rolls are pretty low, they add to 25, their best possible is 32, their lowest possible is 22. Then we have increased attack speed with one-handers, and increased damage with Poison. If someone is doing one-handed damage with attack skills and poisoning, aka Viper Strike, this is a very, very, very good duel. That is not just too good to roll over, that's the sort of thing we're looking for, even though it's not what I originally set out to create. Critical strike chance with one-handers, freeze, and chaos damage, no synergy, no raw power, go away. What did we just say? No synergy, no raw power, go away. Trap damage. Maximum life is always makes me pay attention to everything else. Trap damage and ignite facility. It doesn't quite get there. This is, well, I'm just trying to think. Would this be used by any trap build at the moment? I think it's just too niche to be a trapper that is also igniting. I'm going to roll over it. Damage with axes, damage with two-handers, ally resist, poison. This is interesting. This is a general axe item. The resistance, the poison can be considered a bit of even a red herring here. I don't think this is an extremely good item. I think it's just a bit too good to roll over, so I'm going to keep it aside. It will probably end up in my 14 Chaos tab. I'm going to have a look and see if I have any more Viridian jewels that probably... or even... let's grab maybe some Cobalt jewels as well. I have a number of jewels that I've been holding on to. My general approach is, if I can't see a use for it, I just generally assume maybe there is some use for it. That, on the other hand, has no use, and I don't know why I had it in a 30 Chaos tab. That's where I've been putting my good items. Damage with axes, cold damage doesn't synergize with axes very well at all. Reduced mana cost of skills is garbage, so that's garbage. You can safely roll over that. Okay, it's got a block, it's got Knack Dot, but it just doesn't have any synergy with it, so it's going away. Now here we've got the Chaos Resistance roll for the first time. It doesn't come up very often, and It doesn't come with anything useful, so it can go away. Damage with swords, accuracy rating is an okay stat, but it's not. It's just lower power than a lot of the other ones. Chaos damage, one-handers, poison, and critical strike multiplier while dual wielding. This, however, is a Viper Strike duel, and that is going to conclude this tutorial because I've ended up making more Viridian duels than I expected. Unless I've got some Cobalt duels to give it a shot to. This one, I believe, is also... This is total and utter rubbish, and I have no idea why I had it in anything other than a garbage tab. If we have a look-see, I've got a stash tab of unwanted, very low-end jewels. So I'm going to start, at this point, crafting on Cobalt jewels that don't look like they've got anything going for them. And this one here hasn't sold for ages. I've had this for ages. I don't even know why I was trying to sell that, because it's not good enough to sell. But in any case, they can both get scoured, and we'll try and craft these ones. Here, we can't get life the way that we could here, or if we can, it's very rare. But we can get energy shield as an alternative. And we'll get energy shield quite a lot. That's useless. Block, projectile speed. Knack dot and projectile speed are something, but unfortunately, you need more than just having one good mod. Knack dot is the best mod, and projectile speed, which is a mediocre one. You need to have some more than that. Okay, that unfortunately is pure trash. Mind damage, chaos damage, knack dot, cast damage. This has potential. I'm going to keep this. I don't think anyone's going to use every mod on it. However, it's a solid 3 mod duel if you're not using mines. And who knows, maybe someone is going to use all of the mods on it. I'm not sure if anyone is doing anything crazy like Essence Drain mines or Soul Rend mines. I don't even know if that'd work. But I'm just going to keep it because it feels too good to roll over. This, on the other hand, is not too good to roll over, and therefore it can go right the hell away. We have here increased chaos damage, attack speed while holding a shield, crit multi with fire skills, and poison damage. Okay, this is looking like it's not quite there. The of the underground roll is good. The damage with the suffixes I quite like, but the crit multi with fire skills is an intrinsically powerful mod, but it's on the wrong type of item. And I don't think that attack speed with a shield... Yeah, I just don't think there's a synergy there. It's not a terrible duel, but it's not quite good enough. Okay, this is interesting. This has got increased chaos damage twice, it's got cast speed, and it's got attack speed while holding a shield, which for builds that use shield charge is very good. This is far too good to roll over, and so this is going to terminate the tutorial at this point. This is something that is going to be of serious merit to... Oh, this is actually an outstanding duel for anyone that is running an Essence Drain character, but that is using shield charge as their primary form of mobility. Unfortunately, the rolls on the increased chaos damage aren't great, but they're not awful either. I'm not going to divine it. I don't feel that there's the return on investment for that. However, the next owner may well decide to divine it. If they do, good on them. What I'm going to do, rather than try and price everything perfectly to start with, I'm simply going to put everything in a 2 Exalt tab for the moment. Something may sell from there, but it's entirely possible that none of this will sell. If nothing sells in the next sort of 24 to 48 hours, at that point, it'll get dropped to a 1 Exalt tab. If it doesn't sell there, which is also quite plausible, then down to a 50 Chaos tab, down to a 20 Chaos tab, and so on and so on. Anyways, that's all I've got for this one. If you've got any questions about crafting with aberrant fossils, fire away below. Otherwise, I hope you